Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I am Big Cheds. Sunday, February 10th, 2019. Hope everybody's doing well. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Big Cheds. You find me on YouTube at Cheds Trading. Want to point your attention to my good friend Big Chonas. He's on Twitter at Big Chonas and Chodas Trading. Excellent trader. Check him out on YouTube as well. And I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I'm very proud of my involvement with that project. So I'm really thankful that you guys decided to join me tonight. Just want to remind you, I am not an advisor. I am just someone who enjoys talking about crypto. I do Japanese candlestick analysis. I enjoy teaching people. You know, when I started out, I made a lot of mistakes, and there were some people who helped me out, and so I kind of like to pass that along. So I should remind you, and I should start doing this. I also have a free blog. I have chedstrading.blogspot.com, and I have the complete beginner's guide to cryptocurrency trading on there as well. It's got over 100,000 views on that guide. So I would definitely encourage you to check that out. You know, I'm going to go ahead and slide it right over. Let's try that. So at Ched's blog, the complete beginner's guide to crypto. There's over 100,000 views on this, and it's, you know, here it is. You know, I wrote this over a year ago, but there's some really great knowledge. Anyway, encourage you to check that out. So I'm going to briefly talk about Bitcoin, maybe some of these other projects as well, and then I'm just going to jump into the chart requests for you guys. So what are we doing here with Bitcoin? I'm on the Bitstamp exchange. I'm on the 12-hour chart, which is my preferred time frame, and we're in a consolidation period. So, you know, for me, the first thing I look at, so you always have, I'm going to maximize this a little bit because I want to make a point. So here's the point I want to make. So here's the move. Let's do that. So this candle I'm talking about right here, right? Here's this big candle. This is the big daddy. This is the most important candle. So you look at the volume on that candle, and then for a big clue is I'm always looking like that follow-up volume, right? Do you guys know what I mean? That follow-up volume. What that's going to tell you is kind of how hard that rejection is. Because what you have here, technically speaking, right, when we have this move above the upper Bollinger Band and we put in this upper shadow, we have what's called a price movement. You know, it's outside of the standard deviation, and bears rejected higher prices. So just straightforward, bears rejected higher prices. But it was like a low volume move. So, you know, like, you know how when you have a consolidation period, you know, let's see, say you have this type of move where it just goes straight up. And then it's, you know, maybe it's forming a flag. It's very slowly getting down here, right? So you're kind of already like halfway up, you know, up the move. And you're noticing when you look in the volume, right? Like it's not a lot of volume. So that's a good type of situation where you've had a consolidation that's light volume. And the point I'm trying to make is you're looking for clues. You can see a bullish move. It's not a Maribozu, but it's still a nice big candlestick with a lot of volume behind it. And there's not a lot of teeth to the selling, okay? Not a lot of teeth to the selling. Can we put in a tower top? Absolutely. Can we? Or you guys might call it a BART? Yeah, of course. I mean, that could very easily happen. But right now, the volume profile is not suggestive of all that, rather. So, you know, nothing's definitive, but we're looking at everything on a probability scale, and we're looking for clues. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's compare that. Let's just do, I'm just spitballing this. I'm going to compare this period, okay, to this period. So here's your first candle, already weaker volume here. And then you look in these follow-up candles, there was more selling. That's the price of stalling. You can see that. Right here, it's completely different. So it's less likely, I believe, to form a tower top. I think we're looking at potentially a bull flag right now. I will very crudely draw for you the bull flag because I'm just kind of winging it right now. You know, I could pull up the lines, but there you go. That's the direction of the price movement, and we're seeing in it we have a very slight volume trend. You know, we have the kind of a downsloping volume trend, but it's still, we need some more days to kind of form that out, to kind of see that kind of, you know, finish that trajectory. So I think within probably 2 or 3 more candlesticks, we're going to see this pattern break. We've already had the Bollinger Band catch up. I noted how far above the Bollinger Band, the upper Bollinger Band, we were initially. And so now what you see has happened. And when we talk about consolidation, what you see has happened is as the price, okay, has maintained pretty much all of its gains thus far. Okay, we're not even testing support, right? Classic candlestick theory, the middle point to the open of this candle is your support, right? This zone right here. We're not even testing that yet, right? You're holding that upper consolidation range. So what's happened in this consolidation period is the upper Bollinger Band has caught up. So right now, when we pull back a little bit, we're almost at that EMA 8. We could pull back to the EMA 8. If it's a nice true uptrend, you'll see what will happen is the price will bounce and kind of pull up to this EMA 8. You see it all the time, right? And in a downtrend, it's reversed. You see exactly the same thing. So I think that's enough on that. Let's get right to your chart requests. Joe Smith, thanks, man. What's up, Jamal? Wanted Worm, BTT. Let's take a look at BTT here. 12-hour chart, I don't know if there's enough price history to warrant that. I'm going to go to like a 4-hour chart. I see 40 of you guys watching right now. Let's give me some requests. Let's start talking. What do you want me to talk about? I'm happy to look at your play right now. I have a whole watch list, not just the ones you see in front of you. And just, by the way, hit that thumbs up button for me as well if you do not mind. So, Wanted Worm, BTT, BitTorrent. So essentially for me, what I'm looking at, and this is kind of classic. So you have a bounce, and when the price comes back, you're looking for logical support. So in order to get there, we had a bullish consolidation period, right? And so that's corresponding right now to kind of a logical support area. Even though we had the little dip there, right? This is a desired support level. So that could be your false bear break. That could technically be a spring if it were to hold support here and bounce, which I think it is. It's in okay position to do so. Not a lot of volume either way, so it's hard to have too much faith in any of these signals. Glad to see that many of you have submitted your requests. I'm going to go to Ethereum next. I see many of you are asking for it. Rajat, K. Leon, Zachary, as well. All right, let's check out ETH. So I'm on the 4-hour. I'm going to go back to 12-hour. So what do we have here? Although 12-hour right now, I mean, it's 8 hours left. Maybe not a great time to do this candle. 6 hours is going to be a little bit better. So right now we have a dark cloud cover. Still a couple hours left in this candle. So we have a dark cloud cover forming. It does not require the gap. Steve Nissen talks about this. Like in foreign exchange markets, like the mechanics of the candlestick pattern still function. Like a evening star, for example, or morning star. And here with the dark cloud cover, absent that gap, what you're looking for is the close below the midpoint of this candle, which is somewhere around there roughly. So right now we're working on a dark cloud cover with significant volume. So that's what tells you something. So you're very, very likely to test this support, which is right around that 114, 115. So I think this definitely should pull back a little bit and test that support. If that fails, you have other support to test. I think most logical for me would be here where initially on this hammer, bulls rejected lower prices. Dragonfly Doji found support there again, broke through. That became resistance on that inverted hammer. Again, tweezer top rejection, pulled back. And here we have potentially a an upthrust, because we had on a candle close basis, we had a false bear break with close below, prior support, important support. So you have kind of in theoretically you have an upthrust, and then you have you could argue to support that theory you have this follow through on this candle. So that's what would make sense to me. But so what you have essentially is you have we were talking about Bitcoin earlier. Let me see here. So we were talking about Bitcoin and the sideways consolidation. You can see here in Ethereum, it kind of already had that. Where here was the break, right? You have your bull flag, and that was the break. So now we're going to come back and we're going to back test support potentially. And what's notable, not just the pattern and the candlesticks, is the volume. So look at that volume. That gives you some clues on how to play that. Maybe you find support at, look at that EMA 8, just what I was talking about. Maybe you find support there. Let's continue on. Chuck, what's up, Chuck? Chuck, what's up, Chuck? Let's check out LTC for Chuck. Chuck Dell. Let's go back to stay in 6-hour chart. I'll just stay in 6-hour chart right now for the interim. Let's see if I can make this. That's a little better there. Okay. So what's going on with Litecoin? So Litecoin appears to have a recent bull break, but we do have the bearish divergence. We have the lower high. Let's pull it up. Well, let's not just throw out terms. Let's let's talk about them. Let's have a reference, right? So we have bearish divergence, where based on the candle close, you have the lower high. So where's that on the chart? Bearish divergence, under strong bearish divergence. So you have the price making that higher high, oscillator lower high. Now, it doesn't concern me as much because the on-balance volume is not reflecting that bearish divergence. Because RSI can be fickle. That's why I'm stubbornly conservative in that I let the on-balance volume guide me. So what I'm trying to say is, even though you may see these oscillators expressing that bearish divergence, it can also be a benefit because now the RSI's dip below 70 and you can bounce again. So if you come back, practically speaking, you find support, you kind of start to establish close. I think for Litecoin, you continue to establish close above that $44 area. If you can do that for a little bit, right? And again, watch the volume here. Already there's a decent amount of volume in the sell-off candle. This is an evening star reversal. Evening star. It's an evening star reversal, and we still have 33% of the candle remaining. So that's going to be decent volume. So that's actually going to, for me, the head signal here. I would be surprised if it does hold 44. So that would suggest to me we're going to be pulling back to that $43 area. And if that fails, we have these moving averages coming up. So the key is going to be to watch this on-balance volume, because why is that important? If we see volume behind these red candles, not just this candle that's closing in 2 hours, but if we see volume behind the subsequent candles, that will show up in the on-balance volume, and it will reflect a momentum change, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to emphasize, the momentum change. What's up, Brandon? You want to talk BNB? Sure. Let's talk BNB. So BNB looks really good. And just now I'm noticing we have a bull break. So I'm going to tweet that out just for fun. I like to be timely. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going to tweet it out. Not everyone's watching the video. BNB. 6 hour. So the question. So here's the thing, right? On these bull breaks, as you watch the volumes, in any kind of break of support or resistance, you want to watch the volume, and it's like really weak volume here. So it looks great, but I'm not seeing the emphasis potentially on this candle. Like, I'm not convinced it's going to break up above here and continue to, to keep pushing, because we do have a little bit of bearish divergence in the relative vigor index, in the RSI, in the stochastics RSI. Mixed here. I would have liked to see in all, this really nice move, but I would have liked to have seen, see how much volume we have here on this January 28th candle. I would want to have seen, one or two like green candles like that in here. So here, another way to look at this would be really simple, is the EMA 8. What did I tell you guys before? Green line. Okay. If we start to break that line, that very well could signify a trend change. Now, it's not absolute. We saw that here. It broke it and eventually came back up. You had different circumstances. Look at the volume. And look at this sell-off candle, right? Notable in the sell-off candle. Always look at the volume, right? There was not a lot of follow-through selling, right? And then so you've essentially found support in any case. So let me just jump right back to ADA. What's up, Rahendo? Let's go to ADA. No problem. Happy to do it. So ADA, I have a lot of squiggly marks in this one. So what's going on? I'll do a couple more. Appreciate you guys all showing up for the, showing up to join me this evening. So look at that. So we have a lower high break, tweezer top, high wave spinning candle. Sorry, a high wave spinning top, and just a long-legged doji. Pardon me, as well. So kind of a tweezer top, long-legged doji with a high wave spinning top combination. And we broke that high, but there's not a ton of volume on it. So we're watching the volume. Not a ton of volume on the sell-off. So this looks pretty good, but we won't, like EMA 8. I'm kind of a broken record here. You're going to, in all these kind of measured moves, you make a high, you come back, and ideally, you're kind of reaching some type of a higher low. And, that you have to do that. Otherwise, an uptrend cannot continue. And as you do that, you have all sorts of resistance you're running into. You've been in a crazy bear market. And you can see you made a nice move here. It stalled out. So, in the macro, if you back up, you want to see where you are in relation to your higher lows. So you have to put things in context. Here is your low you established on December 28th. You tried to put in a higher low here January 14th. That failed. Okay, you tried to make another higher, try it again. January 29th, that failed. And then here you are. This is your newest attempt. But what's different is you have a higher low break here. The last time, look, EMA 34 rejection, tweezer top, and you have a bull break here. You have an impulse move with some follow through. So you want to continue to watch the volume, but overall it looks good in the sense that I don't see why it should not test around that 1240 area. If it finds support again at the EMA 8, that'd be my guess. Let's take a look at ZEC for Abhishek. ZEC, Zcash. Looks pretty weak, unfortunately. The only thing I like is you have the on-balance volume. We're suggesting some type of accumulation here. So what we can do is at least mark our lower shadow, which is the support. We're going to mark this inverted hammer, even though it's not a shaven bottom. I mean, it's also high wave spinning top. But you could also essentially consider it to be an inverted hammer. I'm going to mark these levels here and kind of watch what happens. If you can continue to hold the low here on Zcash, that might get interesting. I do like the volume behind this candle from earlier today. Little bit of bullish divergence on the RSI. on the stochastics RSI. I think this certainly warrants watching. ZEC for sure. Let us continue on to BAT. A bunch of you are asking for basic attention token. RJ Jamal, David, Cathcart. Let's take a look at BAT, BET. So we have a lot of volume recently. I'm kind of just putting it into context. You look, there's really not a lot going on for quite a while, and then you have this volume candle. So let's just get in close and take a look at this volume candle. 4 days ago, it's about a half real candle body, half shadow, half wick. I've already done ETH, so you can catch it on the replay, when I reverse it. So look here on this candle, right? This is the most important candle. So clearly we have, I mean, this is a crazy move. Look how far above the upper Bollinger it went, and it ran into a logical resistance, rejected here, many times before. On this bounce there, rejected. So we know where the resistance is. The question is, do we know where the support is? It's not great, not very eloquently put. But so now a couple things. We have lower highs. Okay, let me not do that. Loop. Oops, pardon me, folks. All right. So the point I wanted to make is there's your first high, right? There's your lower high. Here's another one. So we have in this consolidation range, we know we have lower highs. We have higher lows. Here's our low. Here's our next low. So what's going to give, right? Something's going to have to give here in this equilibrium pattern. So the question is, are we forming a higher low right here? What are the clues? For BAT, we can see that there's not a lot of volume on the sell-off candles, so that's a good sign. Oh, the on-balance volume is strong. The oscillators are essentially matching the price velocity. So that kind of all adds up. So it's pretty straightforward, and you could watch it right here. You basically can just watch right here to see which way it's going to break. Watch the volume candles. I think definitely worth watching for BAT. I'm going to do XRP, and I'm going to wrap it up from there. XRP, hashtag the standard, hashtag XRP the base or something. Hashtag, So what are we doing here? Where is the price? So the price is in a pretty significant area from recent history. So why is this area important? Just in recent history. I mean, I don't have to go back to September, October. But you can see November. So November, it was rejected there, rejected again in early November, rejected there a week later. Right? Came through, found support, bounced again, came through, found support. So the point I'm trying to make, that was very poor. Let me try again. This is just an important area. You can see how the price has interacted with this area before. It jumps right out. So it would be very bad to continue to lose support, which is what has happened. We have arguably a double top with our first top there, the 20th, second top about a month later. And you can see there's some distribution here. There's some capitulation. People are slowly bleeding this thing right now. What's the case for the bulls? We have bullish divergence, vigor index, RSI, stochastics, potentially a double bottom with the on-balance volume. So there, you could form a bottom here, but that is going to depend on holding this level. So this, this is like step one of a bounce if it holds this level. If it doesn't hold this level, forget about it. And I would kind of just think about it that way. Let's just go back to Bitcoin briefly. So we're in a nice consolidation range right now. I've kind of coached that you continue to watch the volume candles for clues. I've pointed out that after the initial push, there was not that much sell-off volume. We have the oscillators resetting, and we're watching certain things for support. I'm watching here the EMA 8. That's the ideal case for the bulls, is to hold the EMA 8 and potentially correspond with the bull flag break at that point. If that fails, you have classic support at the midpoint of the candlestick down to the base. So plenty of support here for some type of a bounce. And then, you know, but regardless, I want to thank you all. And let you know I definitely appreciate you joining me here tonight for the show. You can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. I'm on YouTube at Cheds Trading. Good friend of mine, I think it's worth checking out, is Big Chonas at Big Chonas and Chonas Trading on YouTube. Does a great job. I am one of the founding analysts at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I'm really proud of my involvement in the project, and just want to tell you guys a little bit about that. I put together a series on candlestick analysis, and I have several articles on trading psychology. I have one I'm working on right now, which is really a pretty cool topic as well. And I'm just one of 6 guys. Plus, we have at least a couple featured analysts, including Big Chonas. He helps us out as well. I put out timely alerts with buy and sell targets. One of my favorite features is I record myself scanning the watch list, and I kind of talk you through what I'm thinking and how I try to find plays. And because that's what I'm all about is I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to just hand you plays. I want to teach you how to find them as well. And if you guys have questions, you can check out the webinar right here and on my YouTube page. And the link, sign up link, is in the video and on my YouTube, my Twitter page. We have recently added a monthly and a quarterly option if you want to try out the platform before committing for a full year, which is the best deal. With that, I just want to thank you guys again. I really appreciate you showing up, and I hope you all have a wonderful remainder of your day. Big Cheds out.